What's going on YouTube? JT's Reborn here, and welcome back to another edition of my DC comic book reviews. And in this video, we're going to be talking about Night Terror's Robin issue number 2. This one is written by Howard Porter with art by Miguel Mendoza. And the last issue had Tim and Jason focused on entirely, and they were in their own little personal nightmare worlds. Tim Drake has his, Jason Todd still has his, and they're picking up the pieces from that, kind of continuing off the events of that particular one. They're still kind of being caught up in their whole nightmarish world and all that. This one doesn't really have like an ending that says, hey, check out this next issue of Night Terrors to see the further adventures of them. It kind of just cuts off, if you will. But there's some good stuff in here. There's some great looking artwork, and you get to see the Tim and Jason dynamic at play here, which is something that I feel like isn't really utilized quite as much. It's usually Dick racing kind of at the forefront with kind of the other Robins, like with him, Jason, him, Tim, and then him and Damian. And then sometimes you get Jason and Damian, but you don't really get much of Jason and Tim, kind of the middle children, if you will, of the Bat family. I know you got Duke and that added in, but I'm talking about kind of the four core in terms of the four main ongoing Robins. Yes, Stephanie Brown was there at one point, but that was such a brief tenure. I'm talking about like kind of long-term Robins for a considerable amount of time. The four most iconic Robins, if you will. So you do get to see a little bit of that in here that we've kind of been missing in a lot of things. So if you're looking for this issue to further the Night Terror storyline, it doesn't do too much in that regards. In fact, if you never read the Robin one, you probably wouldn't miss anything in terms of the important plot details altogether. Like the majority of these side spin-off things, there's no real like hook that says, hey, this is going to be picked up again in Night Terror's Night's End or whatnot, but we don't really get that. But what you do get is some good bonding between Tim and Jason. You get to see like what makes their dynamic. You get to see their insecurities, their fears. It's kind of stuff you've seen before in other things, because with the Bat family, they've kind of faced a lot of these fears in the past with the whole like Scarecrow fear toxins, kind of reiterating points that if you're more familiar with them, you kind of already know. But when we do get to the conclusion, it is kind of nice to see them work together, breaking out of this thing together and show their strength as brothers, if you will. And when they wake up, they're ready to kind of get back on the case, if you will. So, but nothing in terms of the Nightmare Stone really, or any of that. But as we all know, the Nightmare Stone wasn't even in the dream world, so it is what it is, I suppose. But yeah, so if you're looking for an issue that's focused on kind of the Tim and Jason dynamic and him kind of craving that, then I think this will kind of like curve your appetite in that will. Curve your appetite. What is the saying? It'll You'll get a taste of that in this one. If you're hungry for that, you'll get that in this issue. But if you're looking for something to really kind of build on the Night Terror storyline, if you're looking for things that are really necessary to read for that, you're not going to really get that. This thing could just be kind of skipped altogether in terms of this overall event, and you won't really miss nothing. But what you will miss is some Tim and Jason interactions. So if you've been missing that, you're going to get it here. But that's pretty much all I have to say about this one. Artwork is quite good, like it is for the majority of these Night Terror stuff. Does this one stand out to me as much as the Hal Jordan one? I don't think so. And I think there's a few others that kind of like stand out to me a little bit more. Maybe in terms of the ones that I read this week, this one may in fact be the weakest overall, but it's not bad. I don't really think there's anything downright awful about a lot of these Night Terror things. I just think a lot of it's not all that necessary considering the stories that they're trying to tell. There's just been so many issues, and a lot of them you could have cut out from the Night Terrors event altogether and save people a good chunk of money and time, such as myself, and you wouldn't really like miss anything. So, but yeah, so that's all I have to say about that one. If you're looking for Tim and Jason stuff, you'll get it here. But if you're looking to be invested mostly in like everything Night Terrors, you don't really need to read this one. So anyways, that's all I have to say about this particular issue. Again, more of a rapid fire review, if you will. Whatever you thought of it, let me know in the comment section down below. Be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel, all that other fun stuff. Next up is going to be the Shazam one, then it's the Flash, then it's Zatanna, and then I got two other comic books in terms of DC I want to get to, but I haven't gotten around to reading them, so I want to get the Night Terror stuff at least all out today. And then next up will be the Superman annual, and then World's Finest Teen Titans. So look forward to all that. All right, well, that's all I have to say. As always, take care now. Bye-bye then, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace.